As promised in the last video, we're going to go ahead and change the color of the player and the color of the platform. So in the scene view, you can select the player by clicking on it or go over to player. Under sprite renderer, if it's closed, all you have to do is click this arrow on the left hand side to drop down the menu. And we're just going to change the color. So go into color, click that, and the color picker box will pop up. Let's go ahead and make this red. And then hit X. And now we're going to change the platform color. So select platform, go into color. Let's go ahead and make this or something a little bit lighter. How about we'll do a dark gray. Now when we go back into our game view, the red and the blue clash. So let's go ahead and just change the background to white. To do that, you're going to go into the main camera and you're going to go into the drop down under camera and you can see the background color is set to blue. Go ahead and click that and you can change it to whatever color you like. I'm going to do not quite a pure white, but more of a gray. Now, we're eventually going to want the player to be controlled by the user. So we're going to have to give that a rigid body. Go into player, and once player is selected, we're going to add a component. Go down to physics 2D, and let's add a rigid body 2D. Once we add that rigid body 2D, it's going to apply physics forces to that, such as gravity. Or if you run into something, if that's a greater mass, it would be able to push that smaller mass. And you can see the mass is set to 1, and we don't have to be too concerned with that right now. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we click the play button. Our player just fell down, all the way down, and is still currently falling. It's just out of the game view now. We want the player to not fall off this platform. We want the platform to act as a ground. So we're going to go into the platform and add a 2D box collider. So once we select the platform, we're going to go to physics 2D, and since it's shaped like a box, we'll use a box collider. The box collider automatically snaps to the size of the rectangle that we have. If you click the checkbox next to sprite renderer to deselect the sprite renderer, you'll be able to see the outline of the box collider. Go ahead and turn the sprite renderer back on. And now we have a box collider. But that's not going to solve all our problems. When we click play, our player still falls through the platform. That's because not only do we need to add a box collider to the platform surface, but to the player as well. So go to add component, physics 2D, and we'll add a circle collider since this is a circle. And you can see if you unclick the sprite renderer, the outline of the circle collider. Go ahead and click play. And now our circle, or our player, does not fall through the rectangular platform. Because once the box colliders touch, they cannot go through. This is because you cannot have an object with a collider go through another object with a collider. So in 2D games, it's useful to use colliders when setting up boundaries or barriers. So in this video, we learned how to change the color of the sprites. We went over applying the rigid body to the player, as well as applying the appropriate collider, which in the player's case was a circle collider, and we applied a collider to the platform, which was a box collider. And that prevented the rigid body from falling through the platform. In the next video, we'll set up our first script and actually begin moving the player around.